Can we get an autofocus up in here? Is that... I'm still not in focus. I just don't understand. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to my second video on my still new channel. I'm Jillian, and today I got off of work rather early and I thought to myself, okay, what would I rather do? So I want to read, of course, but then I thought, you know, the Olympics are on, like maybe I'll just sit down with a nice cold beer. And then it hit me. Why not both? Book and a beer. So today's book that I'm going to be talking about is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Now, I just read this recently. I have a lot of thoughts on it, and today's beer of choice is St. Croix Cream Ale. Oh, girl. There you go, maybe. Yep. St. Croix Cream Ale. And disclaimer, I am 25, people, so I can legally be doing this for the past 4 years now, so. It's such a smooth cream ale, y'all. So basically, what this book is about is it's about 5 high school kids who all get sent to detention because they all had phones in their possession when they weren't supposed to. And in detention, one of those kids dies. They find out it's because of a peanut allergy, and then the police start suspecting foul play, and so this interesting mystery of a story unfolds. And that's kind of all I'm going to talk about for the non-spoiler part of this. I didn't know anything going into this book, so I didn't have any expectations. I saw the Goodreads rating was over 4.0, so I thought, okay, I don't know anything about this story, but I you know, if I had to put money on it, I think it's probably a pretty good story. And I was let down. I was really let down. So if you guys stuck around for that little rant, I guess, a little miniature rant, welcome to the spoiler discussion. I'm not going to hold anything back because I had a lot of thoughts about this story. And I guess let's just get into it, okay? Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, I'm going to talk about my main gripes with this story. I only had a few, but it was honestly enough to detract from the enjoyment. If this is your favorite book of all time, I promise I'm not trying to offend you. I don't want to offend anyone here, but I just had a lot of feelings. I flew through this book. Like, I mean, it's a pretty normal sized book. Number one is definitely the fact that I couldn't tell the narratives apart. I found myself flipping back to the front of the chapter to find out whose point of view I was supposed to be reading from. When I started the book, I was like, you know what? It makes sense. All these kids got put in detention randomly. A kid dies, they're all concerned. It makes sense that I'm not able to tell them apart. But later in the story, as they each start developing and they each kind of reflect upon their own secrets that they've been hiding, I just feel like they could have been more individuals. They all seemed to think the same. And specifically, like, what's his name? Cooper, what the hell? Like, he had a very interesting and compelling backstory where he had, like, a girlfriend, but he was actually gay, and that was his big secret. I thought that was super interesting, and that's, like, a super important story to be told because it's so prominent in society. But, like, his narrative just got so lost in the shuffle. I can't remember any characteristics about him other than he played baseball, he got accused of doping, and he was the gay character. But I think it was really cool that his story of coming out was reflected in this book, and I think Cooper's story reflects a deeper issue that we still have in society. So A+ for that, but like solid F on keeping the characters like their own characters. I didn't, maybe it was just me. Let me know if anyone else has had this problem or if it was just me being stupid. Like, I don't know. A+ to the beer too, because like, yes. Number 2, this author is from Massachusetts and she wrote a story in San Diego. You can literally, as an author, write a story wherever you want. You can write it where you live, somewhere across the country, somewhere across the world, in space, in a fictional land. I don't care, as long as you write it well and make me believe the story is taking place where it's taking place. It was very apparent to me that this book was set in San Diego, but it didn't feel like San Diego. I've lived in San Diego for 8 years. I'm currently living in Minnesota, but I've only been here 4 months. So girl, I still remember what San Diego's like, okay? She references these woods behind houses. There are the woods of sorts in San Diego. I mean, they're not like your typical woods, but the way she wrote those scenes, it felt like wandering through the woods of the Pacific Northwest and not like the woods in San Diego. It is. She also did this great thing where she talked about hiking in San Diego. Here's why I have a problem, folks. You can just Google popular hiking trails in San Diego. The one she named was Marshall's Peak in Los Angeles. Quick Google search, you could have, you know, Potato Chip Rock, like the most well-known hiking spot in San Diego. And like, that's fine, but if you are going to write a story in a place that already exists, there is no excuse to mess up the setting when Google is right at your fingertips. It didn't feel like San Diego. If you see, oh, my phone is so bright. Can you not? Okay, much better. And other little tiny things, like she calls it Eastland. It's called East County. She calls their city Bayview. It's Bayho. So I don't know. I had a problem that it took place in San Diego, but reading it, I didn't feel like I was in San Diego. Problem number 3 was that I just felt like every relationship felt toxic. I don't know, I just found it very strange that every single relationship in the book was toxic. There wasn't a single good friendship. I think not every relationship in life is toxic. Maybe I'm being a little too positive for this story, I don't know. One big problem I had was I felt like this book devolved from a compelling crime mystery to a half-assed young adult romance. And I was very disappointed that it just became so much more. I felt like near the end of the book, it became the Bronwyn and Nate love story. You're both being framed for murder. I don't know. It just felt very strange. It kind of devolved more into a story about them, which is unfortunate because I was all here. I was here for Addie's story. That girl went through emotional abuse. Her sister went through emotional abuse. And you know what? She freaking came out strong. That's the kind of girl I want to read about, okay? And side note from all of this, another huge problem I have with, I think, young adult books and young adult series is how romanticized college admissions are. It's not fun. It's not easy. It is hard. Like, bear with me here. Bear with me. Authors and people on TV make it seem so easy. Like, you can just get in. Be accused for murder. You're still welcome. Steal test scores? Still welcome to Yale. So I was very frustrated about that. I felt like none of the characters were held accountable at the end of the day for what they did. The only person I was happy for in the end was freaking Nate. His mom is getting her life together. Like, good for them. I was very happy about that. And I was happy about Addie's character development. Again, I just felt Cooper got so lost in the shuffle, which is so unfortunate. He just, unfortunately, was not a strong enough character to really remember much of. Did I enjoy the book? Minimally. But honestly, my only saving grace for the story was Addie's character development. Like, that girl is a badass. Keep rocking on. That is very important. And it's important because I think a lot of girls in high school go through these relationships that are toxic and bad, and they're being manipulated. And I think telling stories like that is important so girls and people around them can recognize those signs. It was a good premise, executed in an okay way with a really lackluster ending. But guys, let me know, what were your thoughts about this book? If you read it, did you like it? If you did, let me know below because I am interested. Like I said, I'm not trying to offend anyone who didn't like this book. That's not my intention. But I do think it's fun to have a dialogue about what different people get from stories. I've been reading a lot this month, so I'm excited to do a few more book talks. Book and a beer, or beer and a book, I don't know. I know I like beer, and I like books, so we're gonna just marry the two and put it together on my channel. See you in the next video. Bye! Someone is going to flip on me for some of these opinions. I can feel it.
I hear a love song playing in my head like ooh, ooh. I hear a love song circling around, oh ooh, ooh. Sweet melodies playing over and over again.